Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to this episode of A Woman's Prerogative, where we provide high-class education for all our viewers. We also encourage our followers to have access to free content and that will keep them on their journey on Earth. This episode is What is a Real Friend and How to Keep the Bond Alive. So I invite you, all those that are watching, to subscribe to our channels, USA Global TV and Radio, and Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck also. So I introduce myself, Reverend Lydia Fougere, Reverend in Metaphysics and author of the 2-volume series, 111 Reflections for Thy Earth Odyssey, available on Amazon. I am also a spiritual teacher who works on personal transformation, introspection, mindfulness, and compassionate self-discovery. I invite my readers to engage in life through curiosity, clarity, and sense of sacred connection through my programs. I also do sessions, private sessions, also of guided imagery and healings. You can contact me to register to my groups to achieve an exciting spiritual journey. I have the honor of having as co-host the wonderful Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. She is the owner of this station and producer of most shows. She has her own YouTube channel, as I mentioned before, and I still invite you to subscribe. And she's private advisory, global media leadership founder, executive producer, and chief listener officer for USA Global TV and Radio. She is peace ambassador, best-selling author of several books, YouTube Silver Creator Award. So let us welcome this wonderful lady, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck.
Hello, Reverend. Thank you so much for having me for another fabulous episode of A Woman's Prerogative, and I love this topic.
Oh, very nice topic. I actually thought, it had to do a lot with you and I, because when I met you, I thought, she is amazing. What a nice friend that I have in her, because I'm a person that I do not make many friends. I'm very private. And the thing is that, when I met you, I was thinking to myself, she is a wonderful lady. So, and I was thinking, she is kind of a mirror of myself. The thing is that we are go-getter. We are both go-getters. So the thing is that I was thinking to myself, what a wonderful friend. So what do you think of new friendships?
Well, thank you, by the way, for all of that. I feel the same way about you. I think that there's some intuition that we have when we meet someone. And I know that when I met you, I felt the same way. I thought there's something there because I know that you're a private person, but I thought there's more than what she is putting out there. There's a lot to explore. And so I typically will get a vibe, whether or not I think I can have a good connection with someone. I don't know why, but it's always been like that. And it's always been pretty much spot on. So I really like meeting new people, even though I am definitely an introvert. I spend most of my waking time alone, and I really enjoy that. I do it by choice, but I love speaking to new people, especially when we find out immediately we have something in common, or you meet someone because you're doing something that you have in common.
Yes, you're right. Yes. Well, we do a lot of things in common. That is for real. And the thing is that since we are both introvert and we are both private, we understand one another, which is cool. But also, I understand those that are very extrovert and they also like to be around and seen and the whole thing. They want to be, the show. So I do understand also. It is something that we understand. But I was looking at what really brings a person to have a friend. So a friend is a mirror, like you and I, we were saying, is a reflection of our best version of what we like about ourselves. But it is a version of our flaws, our quirks, and while we still hold to the best version, we also see the person that we see what in us, like I am a person that actually, everything has to be perfect. So, and I know that everything has to be perfect with you also. So we are not easy people. So when you walk in a room and you feel at ease with a person, and I do not walk in a room with you. So the thing is that I walked in a show with you. And the thing is that it is brings you to feel at ease with a person, and it forges a moment where actually you feel that it's fine, everything is fine, and there's unconditional acceptance of the other person, and it's a safe harbor that you feel. So you can actually drop the armor you wear for the world and be simply the person you are for your friend that you just made. And that is the way I feel when I have a new friend. So, do you feel that way, Dr. Kerbeck?
I do feel that way. I think I have one caveat, which I've really had to learn as life goes by, that not everyone who presents themselves as being a true and genuine and nice person always has true and genuine intentions. Sometimes people have a life of being charming. And in fact, I just saw this in an interview, and I'm not going to say who it was, but one of the A-list actors is very handsome and very charming and plays a kind of very devious role in the TV show that he's in. And he was talking about the fact that, when you are handsome and charming, or you are beautiful and very easy to talk to, that it is easy to manipulate people to get them to do what it is you want. So I think I'm just putting that up just as an awareness, because I think, like you, when we meet someone, we want to trust them. We want to believe in what it is that they're saying, but it also comes down to when someone shows you who they are, believe them. So when you first meet with someone and you're trying to get together with them, or maybe you ultimately do get together with them and then they disappear or they ghost you and they come back with a lot of excuses, just look at what the behavior is. And it's saying, okay, this person is saying one thing, but they're doing something else. So when you're able to really use a funnel and go through all of that and get down to who is left after all of that, then I think you possibly have a true friend.
Exactly. You're right. You're so right about that. Because when we actually have something, let's say we have a problem. Okay. The real friends, they will show up. They will say, I'm there if you want to talk. I am there for you. Even if we are not ready to talk, they will say, I am there for you. And when we are ready to talk, they will actually make some time. And that is the way a real friend is. They will not push it on us. And that is the way a real friend is. But someone that is phony, I will say, I call it a phony friend. A phony friend will try to get information from you, and they will actually try to get the information to use it against you eventually. So I do think that there's a difference between a real friend and a phony friend. The real friend is there for you when it is time, and the phony friend will be there to actually get information from you to use it at an ulterior time. So, what do you think about that?
I completely and totally agree with that. And it goes along with what I teach people about elevated listening, because when someone's going through something and you just start, you, the collective you, us, just start asking questions because we want to know, because it's kind of like, oh, well, I need to know this information. You don't need to know the information. If the person wants to share the information with you, then they're going to share the information with you. But otherwise, it's not about prying, it's about offering assistance, offering support, offering hope, or whatever the case may be. So that's what I really believe. And the other thing I want to share, and I'd love to get your opinion about this, is when you do start sharing something about yourself and the person immediately makes it about them. Like you just started saying, hey, this is what's going on with me. And boom, the other person just is like, oh, now it's all about you. And you never even got to say how you were feeling. So does that happen to you, Reverend? And if so, what do you do in that instance?
Well, what I do is that, I listen to them because that becomes their subject. So I laugh at it inside my head. So the thing is that I think to myself, okay, it's their time. So I just, I laugh about it. That is all. And you will see a lot of that. Let us say you are on social medias. A person will post something about something that is happening to them. And instead of being compassionate, the person will actually tell their story instead of being, okay, I am so sorry for your loss. I am so sorry for you. They will post something like, oh, yes, this happened to me. So this is a social media thing also. So what do you think of that?
I think that's such a good example, because let's say you lose someone in your life, right? You're going through whatever you're going through, and a person may say, hey, I'm so sorry that you lost your whomever. And then instead of just being quiet and waiting to see what the person says or doesn't say, there's that silence. And so what people typically do is, oh, you know what? I lost my dad. I lost my mom. And then all of a sudden it's all about them again. And all you really got was, I'm sorry for your loss. Boom. It goes right into them.
Exactly, exactly. That is the way it is. So it is, sometimes I always say, sometimes I say to others, it is useless to actually tell about your loss or whatever, because the thing is that you're going to be listening to someone else's story anyways. So if you do not feel like listening to someone else's story, don't tell your own story. It is so much better. But the real anatomy of real friendship is not always easy because there's reliability. So it's showing up even when the invitation is a text and the weather is terrible. So why does it matter? Well, it tells you that it matters enough to be a priority. So sometimes, it is a priority. Sometimes the weather is not good, but you have a friend that really needs you. So you have to show up. And that is true friendship. The distance is something, but it is like that. And there is honesty also, talking with kindness, calling you out on a harmful habit but doing it in a tone that I care. You are like that. You are like that, Dr. Jacqueline. You are like that. You keep the relationship honest. You prevent the slow creep of resentment. You tell things in an honest way, and I'm a person that actually I like to learn. So the thing is that you are such a good friend for that, because you are honest and you help us grow, which is so wonderful. You have that thing about helping us grow. What do you think about that?
I really appreciate that. Thank you. I am very direct. I'm a lot more direct than I used to be when I was in corporate. And I think part of the reason is that the clock is always ticking, especially in television, right? Every minute is worth a certain amount of money. And so it's kind of like say what you have to say, but say it in a way that's respectful. And at the same time, you're providing information. And I think a lot of it has to do with my educational background. If you think about it, you have advanced degrees yourself, is that they're trying to give you a certain amount of information in a very limited amount of time. And so they've got to be direct. And it's the same thing with friends. The most important thing in a friendship, I feel like, is not that you speak to someone every day or a specific amount of time. You can pick up at any point where you left off because you've shown that you're there. And by being open and willing to listen, just absolutely 100% listen without trying to fix anything, without blaming, without attacking. I think that makes a huge difference. But what I've seen in coaching people over the years is they will feel personally attacked by a friend because the friend wasn't calling on a regular basis or didn't invite them to do this, that, or the other. They always made it about them instead of putting themselves in the other person's shoes. And so I'd love to have your thoughts on this. I really believe, as I said, when people show you who they are, believe them and accept them for who they are instead of trying to change them into who we want them to be.
Well, we have to accept people the way they are, but we also have to accept the fact that we do not need to have them in our environment also. I am a person that I do not have a problem with letting go of someone that actually it does not resonate a good vibration with me. I am a person that I I am very I would say, I am very difficult on that. When a person does not vibrate high enough and will bring me down, I will just let go of that person. I will just be kind, but I will let go of that person if it goes on and on and on. I will try. I will try with all my heart. I will try with all my heart. But at the same time, when it is too much, it is too much. So that is the way I am because I respect myself. So I do think that when people do not resonate with us, we have to let go. Because the thing is that, we only have this life to live at this certain moment. So why do we waste our time on a person that actually does not help us in our evolution on Earth? So what do you think of that, Doctor?
I agree with you. I think one of the primary issues, I think, at the core of everything is that people have so many opinions. And even on social media, people want to give their opinions and they're not actually based on anything except their reaction to something. And in relationships and friendships, sometimes that happens as well. Someone will share something that they're going through and it reminds us of something. It brings up something for us, and then we react in a certain way. And that reaction is about us processing or not processing information. And so it goes back to what I said before, where we're no longer listening, and then it becomes about us. And I think if more people were aware of how they're showing up, which is not a judgment, but we're doing a TV show right now, right? So it's give and take. We have the understanding that you will speak and I will speak and you will speak and I will speak. That's the way that it goes. But in many relationships, it doesn't work that way. One person is the one doing most of the talking, and one person is doing most of the either listening or reacting. And when that happens, the other person sometimes feels like they're invisible and they're not seen. And then that brings on a whole number of instances where people's mental health could be challenged.
You are so right, so right. Because the thing is that it does affect the mental health of one or the other person. Because when only a person does only do the listening, it is quite hard because they feel ignored and resentment just starts to build. And that is really not good. And we have to understand here that we have when we actually are friends with someone, we have to feel empathy also. We have to feel the excitement of being with that person. We have to feel happy about being with that person. And we create emotional resonance and it binds two people or a group of people together because that is what friendship does. But at the same time, we have to set boundaries because when we respect our friends, we need our space. So we only ask when we need help if we really need help. So so it prevents the friendship from becoming a drain rather than lifting both people or the group. So what do you think of this one?
Yeah, absolutely. And something that I want to add to that is when we haven't heard from someone for a while or they haven't heard from us, the first thing that we might say or they might say is, I'm so sorry I haven't been in touch. But instead of stopping there, then we start giving excuses. Oh, I've been so busy. You wouldn't believe how busy I am, which, by the way, I just did another show on busy being a four-letter word. I do not use the word busy. We are being productive. We are getting things done. But by adding all of those conditions, those explanations, we basically are saying to the other person, you are not as important as this, and this. So my suggestion is that we don't give excuses. If we really are sorry that so much time has gone by, we can say that, you know what, Lydia, I'm so sorry that this amount of time has gone by since we haven't seen each other or spoken to each other. But if I said, I wanted to reach out, but I've been so busy doing this, and this, now it's like, oh, it's almost like I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. What do you think about that?
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right because the thing is that, if we come on and we have excuses for 5 minutes, the thing is that, it's not right. But the thing is that, when we come on and I always say, someone that comes up with too many explanations, too many informations, I always say, oh, that is just way too much for me. So I always say, I always say too much information. I don't need all that information.
That's good.
So
You're direct.
yes, oh yes, I'm very direct. Oh, yes, that is something in me that sometimes I have to change. But sometimes I come up with the thing is that yeah, that's too much information. I do not need to know all that. So that is the way, and that is it. But also, when we are friends, what I like about when we are friends is that we can share jokes, inside jokes, all kinds of silly jokes, and we do not have to. We, we can laugh about things that were difficult, like when you actually had your water problems. That was so terrible. You were twice in water problems, in 2 years. You were in those water problems, and I was here and I had no electricity and you had water problems. And I was thinking, oh my, the thing is that I just couldn't believe it. I was thinking to myself, we are there making TV shows and with all the problems we have, and we laugh about it. That was silly, but at the same time, we needed that because the problems were there, but at the same time, we needed that humor to go on. What do you think about that?
I think you're so right because people, they have no idea what goes on to get a television show together. And it doesn't matter where we're broadcasting, but we're broadcasting in a lot of places. And then after this, we'll be artificially intelligent edited clips, and then we'll be on podcast platforms. There's a lot that goes into this moment, getting ready. And so you have no electricity. My place was flooded twice, things like floating by us, and you still have to do this show, and the show must go on. So it is interesting. And when I think about friendships, I think I want to just share this because it's my way of looking at friendships. I think it's important. There are many times, because I do live alone and I spend so much time alone, when I get an opportunity to speak, I know I'm blithering on because I've got all this stuff that's been built up. Even though I talk to myself, it's like, oh my gosh, someone is listening. So what I will say is, you know what? I'm just going to blither, if you don't mind. I'm just going to go blah, 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 blah. It might be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then I'm going to listen to you blither. Is that okay? So what I find that really works is it's a back and forth. You blither, I blither, you blither, I blither. And by the end, both people feel like, okay, I got to say something. I wasn't judged. Nobody tried to fix me. And I got this information off my chest and I felt safe.
Yes, yes, and that is the right thing to do, actually, because when we spend our days alone, I was 15 years alone. So the thing is that 15 years alone in the house, and I can tell you, I understand you very much because I did not talk to anyone. And then I would talk to someone, and I was, my Lord, she has so much to say, that girl.
You don't even realize it because it's all bottled up, and it's like someone opens the bottle. You're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Let me come out. I'm the genie. Blah, 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 blah. But a good friend will let you blah, blah, blah and not try to cut you off or over talk you or interject things.
Exactly. And then they will find it funny because they will understand that you're always alone, actually. So that is, most friends, they know that you are always alone. And this is weird because usually we make friends with people that are surrounded. They are very surrounded. So the thing is that they do not have much time for us. They really, they do not have much time. But at the same time, we have to understand that some friendships fade, and if they're unattended. So the thing is that, we cannot assume that someone will be available for us forever. So we have to sometimes pick up, and then, they go in different directions, and it just happens. It's without intention, and the rope loosens, and we just lose that friend all of a sudden, and then we realize I do not know where that friend is, even if I love that friend also. And there is that friend that also invests the one-sided investment. So what do you think about that? The person that is always the one that invests, that person that is always the one that invests, the only one that invests in a friendship. What do you think about that?
I think it gets tiring. I think it's kind of like that unrequited love, the reason why we love our dogs, we love our cats or our pets. But I also think when we're working on ourselves, which you've worked on yourself, I work on myself. Most of the people on our platform have done their shadow work and working on themselves. You get to a point and you just say, you know what, it's not working because it's not a two-way street. I don't feel like putting the effort out anymore. But maybe along the way, there was something of value. Maybe we did get something by continuously to give. So I do think that things come to an end when they're supposed to come to an end. And I think the other thing that's important is people will say, well, he or she just disappeared. I had them as a friend, or they were in my life and now they're not anymore. And they want answers, or they're angry, or they feel betrayed. But we may never have the answer. We may never get the phone call. And let's face it, let's say someone does disappear and then they contact you and you go, ooh, where have you been? What are you doing? Why haven't I heard from you? They're like, wow, why did I call? Right? They didn't even get to say anything. So there comes a point too when we just have to say, there's a season and there is a reason, and we don't know. Just like we may be letting someone down. Maybe someone feels like they thought we were really close, or they thought they had something special, and then our life takes us on a different direction. Do we automatically contact the people in our life and say, oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know I've made these decisions and they may come and impact you? No, because when you're in the process of making changes or going through things, sometimes it takes everything you have just to make the change, and to actually reach out and know that people are going to give their opinions. Everyone has an opinion about everything. Sometimes we just decide, you know what, I can't do this. And if they're there on the other side, then that's terrific. And if they're not, then it wasn't meant to be. Like when someone moves, for example, that could be a big change. And you reach out to your friends to let them know. First of all, they could be very angry that you're leaving. Why are you leaving me? Right? Or you get a divorce and used to hang out with couples. And it's like, oh, now you ruined everything because now it's not the four of us anymore. What are your thoughts?
Oh, my thoughts. My thoughts are that I understand that one because I went through that twice. So people think that, you let them go because divorce is not a choice of letting go your friends. The divorce is that you do not divorce your friends, you divorce your partner, your husband, your wife. So the thing is that they do not understand that you do not have to divorce them. So it's like when people divorce, the children feel left out. So we have to remind the children we are not divorcing them, we are divorcing our spouse. So that when the friends actually feel when we divorce or when we move, that we are abandoning them, we just have to say, I am doing that for my life to go on. And I am sorry if it does not go with your plans. But there's nothing else to say. You cannot be sorry for your life. You cannot excuse. You cannot stay for them. You cannot stay married for them. That is the way it is. You have to think about your well being. And I do think that I am sorry for them. But at the same time, we have to think about our self respect first.
Yes, yes, it's about setting a boundary. It's about showing up for yourself first. And some people will say, well, that's really selfish. But if you don't think about yourself, then who is going to think about you? I just saw this on a wall that someone wrote something. They're like, if you don't love yourself, then how can anyone else ever love you? And I feel like many times we are seeking outside validation from other people, and you can never get enough validation to make an impact, because somebody wants you this way one day and then the next day they don't anymore, and things have changed. So you have to actually do the work and love yourself. And I think in order to have a friend, you have to be a friend, and you have to figure out what kind of friend do you want to be. So for me, one of the things that I really feel that I love doing, and I think I have some skill at it, is listening. So I'd rather say, I'm here to support you. I'm here to listen. If you need me, please let me know. But for me to reach out and go, oh, hello, blah, 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 like, no, like that's intrusive. It's intrusive. So what are your thoughts? How do you feel that you show up? What's your friendship like behavior?
I am the person that does not call. I am the person that actually never calls. I am the one that actually is willing to listen also. So, sometimes it's difficult when you have two listeners that are friends. So that is something because I have a complicated friendship with someone that actually is a listener also, but I have to keep the conversation going because well, he is my stepfather. So the thing is that, I have to talk to him and the thing is that sometimes I am out of subjects, but he lives alone, so I keep the conversation going because I know he is bored. But the thing is that I care for him enough to be there every single day to have a conversation with him and talk to him. And even if I know he does not respond all the time, I keep the conversation every single day, and that is my way of showing my love to him. That I am friends with him, I love him, and that I I call. I call every single day, sometimes twice a day, to see if he's okay. So that is the way I act with him. But I am not a person that calls very much. I am a person that actually will listen also, just like you. So what do you think of that when you actually have a listener, two listeners together?
Yes, two listeners. And I'm also like you. I rarely ever talk on the phone. Rarely ever. I did have a phone conversation with a family member yesterday, which was almost 3 hours, and it was very nice. But I'm not someone who's going to be talking on the phone on a regular basis because I have so many things that I am responsible for. And so I think that that's the hard part. It's not that I'm rejecting anyone, but between the work and then when I go to the gym, I'm usually between driving there, driving back, and going, it's 3 hours. And then I come back and I'm working again. So I rather would someone reach out to me and say, "Is this a good time? I really need someone to listen." Yeah, you know what? If it's not a good time, I'll make it an exception like very quickly. I'll get done what I'm doing and then say, "How about in 30 minutes?" I'm not going to put someone off and say, "Oh, well, yeah, I said I'd be here for you. Why don't you call me in a week and we'll see how it goes?" No. But no, I don't make outbound calls either, and I don't get a lot of inbound calls. Most of the contact is through WhatsApp or Messenger or texting or emails. And then the interaction I have with people is usually on StreamYard, whether we're live or we're not. We're just meeting in StreamYard just to talk because we do have a global platform. So you and I are in two different countries and we've never met in person, but yet we still have a relationship. So it's very possible. And I think people should realize you don't have to be in the same town or in the same organization to have a friendship with someone. So, wow, we're almost out of time. What would you like to leave people with today about friendships?
Well, I would like people to understand that friendships can be anywhere in the world. Like I am in Canada, Dr. Jacqueline is in USA, and I think that everyone can be friends no matter the country, no matter how you feel, no matter the difference, no matter the status. So you can be friends anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. So there is no status. So let us be friends. That is what we should actually keep in mind. Let us try to be friends, no matter where we are in the world. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being here. Thank you, Reverend. And I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes, yes. So you can now watch us on USA Global TV and radio. Follow us on USA Global TV and radio, and Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. So please subscribe to both channels. We are there. You can watch several thousands of videos. There are numerous subjects. There are numerous hosts. You will be happy with the subjects. So goodbye. See you next week. Thank you.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to tracycramperkins.com. Tracy Cram Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.